Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hey, how's it going? Hey, hot stuff. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all having a great day. Just want to say thank you again so much for reaching up 4,000 subs, in about a year, especially with the community of Warframe and getting to meet everyone. Has just been a great time, honestly. And I kind of just wanted to do a bit of a Q&A because being a veteran and having 10 years of content under my belt, pretty sure I can probably toss some historical information at y'all or just have y'all realize something about Warframe that you didn't before. Other than that, let's go ahead and get stuff started. So, our first question is from Matt Hugh. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Matt Hugh asks, I'd love to know if you have a specific content you'd love DE to implement for Warframe at any point in the future, of course. Anything you want to personally see being added to the game, be it Warframe ideas, weapons, modes, cosmetics, and more. I do have a few things that I've always wanted Warframe to kind of get. For Warframe ideas, I always wanted a Grineer-themed Warframe, and I think the closest thing we're going to get to that is Site 09, which is a military kind of Warframe. I don't know how the Grineer Warframe would theme out or anything like that, but I mean, we have Warframes that were affected by the infestation, Warframes that were experimented on by the Corpus, and what if the Grineer got their hands on a Warframe? What if they messed stuff around and suddenly this amalgamation of Kuva Warframe just starts walking around? Something as threatening as the Wolf of Saturn VI, basically. And then another idea that I always wanted them to implement was actually a Jupiter open world. They had customizable Arcwing as a floating idea back in the day, and they worked on a bunch of assets and all that stuff, but the stuff kind of got scrapped because Arcwing wasn't the best thing in the world. But I feel like if they do a Jupiter open world thing, they could probably revamp Arcwing and just make it entertaining, because in Jupiter it's just it's a gas world, so you have floating cities and you fly around with your Arcwing and you just fight the ships that are going back and forth to different ships, and then it could give you a different perspective of Corpus as well. We do have Fortuna, we have the Syndicate faction, we have a bunch of different representations of Corpus, but what if Alad V kind of was dealing with a bit of a rebellion of Corpus people not quite liking what he's doing? And I always thought that would kind of just be a neat idea. For weapons, I always wanted a proper minigun. We do have art guns and we have the Fenmore, but I feel like if we had a minigun, a lot of power fantasies would be satisfied. For sure. And the classic brick. We need the brick melee weapon, especially if we're going to 1999. There's bricks everywhere. Why can't we just use a brick? And always wanted a set of power gauntlets as well. I used to play a lot of Fallout 3 back in the day, and the power gauntlet was a super fun weapon. And I also used it in New Vegas as well. And we all know the best follower in that game, and she uses the best weapon, of course. And she's always peak comedy when you're in slow motion killing an enemy because you see her in the background just fisting someone in the face. It's great. It's hilarious. I guess a couple other Warframe ideas. A Necromech Warframe, in a sense, is just, Necromechs are cool. I love Necromechs. I just wish they weren't limited to specific game modes, and we had a Necromech Warframe we could play with. And then a Bastion Warframe. Bastion from Overwatch, Overwatch 1, not the current crapfest that Overwatch has kind of just become. But just a turret kind of Warframe, kind of like how the Void Rig does. I feel like a turret kind of Bastion Warframe would actually be really cool. And probably fairly easy to implement. Hell, you could give him the minigun. That would work out. That'd be great. For the next question, basically two people kind of asked the same question, so I'm going to stick them together. Finks asked, I have a question. What made you decide to play Warframe? What is your Warframe journey from then and now? And Bandit Nova asked, how did you find Warframe? Back in 2014, I was attempting to go to college. I was giving it a tryout, and honestly, it was not clicking with me at all. And I was kind of going into a bit of a depressive state because of it. But luckily, I had a good laptop with me, and I could still be connected with my friends. And a lot of them were starting or were playing Warframe already, and they sort of just wanted to show me what it was all about and all that. And it was an interesting journey. I still remember the first few days of playing Warframe when it began. I got in and I had no idea what the hell I was doing. And the choices were Mag, Volt, and Excalibur. And I almost picked Excalibur, but then I was like, let's go Volt. And I'm kind of glad I picked Volt, because he's fairly versatile in his kit and all that stuff. And my first few hours of playing the game was going through the tutorial and then having a friend of mine with Frost Prime and Orthos Prime take me to, I think it was a T2 Void Key defense, and he kind of just carried me through 30 waves, helped me get a bunch of loot, give me a Paris Prime set, and then he was just like, okay, have fun. And then I was set off on my own adventure from there. And, I played the game for a couple weeks, and I started to get really into it, and it definitely helped my depression. It gave me something to actually be able to focus on and not be able to worry about reality around me. It gave me a power fantasy in a way that I kind of wanted. And then, the day came that I spent a bit of platinum, bought myself the Necros pack, got the Soma, fell in love with the Soma, and started just joining a bunch of Void Key runs with other people. And because I didn't have the mods, I was the Desecrate guy. And because I was the Desecrate guy, all I had to do was stand there and press 3. I didn't really have to fight. So that was a lifesaver back in the day. I could be useless and not useless at the same time. And that really helped me get a good foothold in the game and get myself going. And then getting all the mods, or starting mods, understanding how to build stuff and all that, I went and got myself Valkyr, which became my main for a long period of time. And then after that, I got Vauban, and then I fell in love with Vauban pretty much almost immediately. Vauban was like my XP farming frame, but then eventually I was just like, this shit, it's really good for combat, like terrifyingly so. You can make your friends Geyer before Geyer was a thing with the old Tesla, because you could just attach like thousands of them on your friend and you just be, go my child, kill them all. It was just great. It was phenomenal. Honestly, there's way too much more for this journey. There's like so much more, but that's pretty much how I started out, and it's how I got absorbed into the game. It was just very fun. I enjoyed the style, and it's still stuck with me for all these years. I'm not the mathematical numbers kind of guy. I'm the feel it out, see what feels right, and look at the information that's in front of you, and if big happy number happens, happy number happens. Like, cool, great. Like it's Warframe's just one of those kinds of games for me. It's awesome. Leave Me Be, vids are crappy. Asks, how did you come up with your name? And well, honestly, that's back in high school days. Around that time, I managed to get my own PC, and back in the day, I used to be really into Team Fortress 2. I used to play it all the time. I was a medic pyro main, and I also like playing engineer. Like, I just enjoyed playing a bunch of different kinds, but medic and pyro were definitely my main two. And I had a really good friend of mine, and he's basically my best friend, and we would go and play Team Fortress 2 the whole fucking time. He would play heavy, and I'd be medic, and we'd just be like the unstoppable duo. And I constantly kept swapping my names around. And for the longest time, my username was Too Bad It's Taken, because most of the time usernames are taken, so there's the joke. But I came up with Professor Dystopia on a whim more than anything else, because I'm really into dystopias. I really like settings of dystopias. 1982, Fahrenheit 451, Brave New World, even movies and all that stuff. Metropolis, the animated movie, Brazil. Like, there's so many good dystopic settings. Cyberpunk, like, shit, that I could keep naming them over and over and over again. Like, there's so many. And I just like dystopias, and Professor Dystopia worked out. And then My friend changed his name to Dr. Utopia, basically just, kind of just going for an opposite kind of thing, mirroring it and all that stuff. And it's just like that was that point. It clicked right there. That's like, okay, the name's permanent now. Like it's accepted. And so Professor Dystopia just kind of became a thing. And even though my username is still too bad, it's taken on a bunch of different platforms. Like people still call me Professor Dystopia and all that. So it's just a name that's kind of just stuck with me. And next up, we have Sci-Fi Freak. If y'all have not seen his stuff or anything like that, go check him out. He's the coolest limbo main in town. That's for damn sure. But he says, congrats, man. Thank you very much. And here's my question. Since you have been in Warframe since the beginning, nearly, what is/was your favorite update? If you have multiple, what makes them so? And I do have multiple updates that I actually really liked. I guess to start it off, I really liked the Jupiter tile update. Just the sheer glow up that Jupiter got is insane. Like back in the day, I just did not like Corpus because Corpus just like was kind of bland. Most of their tile sets were like not great to play on and clunky, a little bit outdated. And Corpus is just Corpus. Like Corpus was just not entertaining to fight against back in the day. Whenever the tile came out, it's just like, oh shit, there's like stuff to explore, there's puzzles, there's like secret little rooms, it's just, there's so many different little things that you can find. It was just great, phenomenal. Loved every aspect of it. Other updates that I really enjoyed, whenever I was taking a long break and they announced Deimos and I saw the trailer and all that stuff, I love Deimos. Deimos is an incredible update. One of the things that I actually wanted for the longest time was Infested Open World, because we had a Grenier Open World, quote unquote, and then we had a Corpus Open World, and it was just like, okay, well, Infested Open World, and it's just like, we get that. It's like, oh, hell yeah, let's go. And then the Zeraman as well was another update that I really enjoyed too. It was another time period where I was taking a bit of a break because nothing much was happening. I didn't have much of a inkling to go on Warframe, and then the Zeraman came out, and it was just like, oh shit. Got these insane weapons, and the tile's beautiful, and it's story rich, and you can just go around and explore. And then they gave us some void plumes, and it's just like it made exploring that much better. It's just like incredible, great flavor all around. And then recently, Whispers in the Walls. I just love Whispers in the Walls. You get more of Entrati Labs, weird Orcan science, void bullshit. Like it's just great. And then more Necromex themed stuff. Like yes. Please, more Necromech stuff. Don't stop. Necromech Warframe, please. Stabs the Beaver asks, what do you think of the idea of only really playing one Warframe? Why do you think some Warframes become underrated even though they're decently good like Grendel and Trinity and Caliban, Corvix, and Limbo? Well, let me answer the first part. Maining Warframe for a long period is a good idea to do. To take the words out of Gamble's mouth, because he put it in a good aspect. It's like if you main a Warframe for a long time, you can understand the aspects of the game better for that Warframe, and you can use that knowledge to carry it on to other Warframes. That comes with modding with just about anything. You find a shotgun that you like and you learn how to mod it. You understand the aspects of modding a shotgun. Then you can use that knowledge to carry on to a different shotgun. You learn how to mod Vauban out, a caster CC frame. You can use that knowledge to help out with other caster frames. It's kind of a rewarding cycle in a sense. It just helps you understand the systems of the game better. And that's honestly good. And for underrated and such, it's about perspective, having the information available, and most importantly, how easy the information is to find. The information isn't easy to find. For example, Vara, on one of my streams, I was investigating it, and there were so many aspects about Vara I did not know. And because I was given like 3 little bits of knowledge, I could then understand what I was doing and properly mod her for what she wants. And it's just, Limbo is filled to the brim with information, and it's difficult to understand. If there was a tier list of Warframes where it was what's easy to build and not to build, and the top was not easy to understand or build, Limbo would be like right there. Limbo would be at the top. Not to say that he's like bad or anything like that, but it's just like he is partially difficult to understand and get him going in a sense. When on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, you have something like Revenant, where a lot of the abilities do what they say. So it's a give or take situation more than anything else, and what information is readily available out there. Zeronaut says, I'm going to leave your milk on your counter. How dare you? It's my milk. I bought it. You come into my house and don't take off your shoes. And Mr. Daney, if y'all haven't seen him, he's an awesome YouTuber as well. He makes great meme videos. Y'all should definitely go check him out. But Mr. Daney asks, can I please have a 3-piece bone meal? And would you like them fried or grilled? Fries on the side of that. And what's your drink? And, and he actually asks, what is your favorite gun and why? Man, that's a tough one to fucking answer. Because I have so many guns that I love to use and can just absolutely speak for them all the time. But I'm going to have to say that the top spot, because it's the first gun that always pops in my head when I'm asked this, it's the Comb. Just a bullet hose shotgun that just tears through anything and is the most satisfying thing. Great sound, great mechanics, strong damage. It has a Kuva version. Like, hell yeah, let's go. But a close contender is the Sobek, because that is just some meaty sounding shots, devastating power if you have it built correctly. And then the Warframe's a classic. Back in the day, whenever 2014 era of Warframe, whenever shotguns had like this weird mechanic of status where if it wasn't at 100% status, the status chance was like split to each pellet and the status chance was god awful. The Boar Prime could get to 100% status chance and was just a monster because of that. Yenny the Yak asks, are you a furry? If so, what's your persona? No. Can't say that I am. But I understand. James Dudek asks, what would your dream weapon be? If it's a gun, how does it behave? If it's a melee weapon, how does it handle, etc. Also, if you had to rework one frame, who would it be and how would you do it? I'd say the dream weapon is Power Fists. The minigun is like probably up there, but like after recently finishing watching Arcane and a lot of other games, just having Power Fists and all this is Power Fists for sure, because we have fist weapons, we have spar weapons, we have claw weapons, but it's just, just dual Power Fists. Just punch the ever-living lights out of something. Till Regor has his massive fists, and we use his massive fists in Arcwing, so why can't we use the massive fists in-game? Why can't we just absolutely pulverize a man with massive fists? We have Atlas. Why can't we have Power Fists? Power Fists would be great. Like, having a higher focus on heavy attacks as well, because it would make sense. You're beating the shit out of someone with a Power Fist, so it's just heavy attack, punch their face off. It's great. Break their ribs. If I had to rework one frame, who would it be and how would you do it? It'd be Oberon. It would be Oberon, but I wouldn't change massive aspects. I definitely change the passive. I don't know what I would change the passive to, but that passive is kind of not the best. Like, it's not terrible, but it's like not the best passive. His one, I would probably just keep the same. I don't see any problem with it. It's good. Does a lot of damage. If built correctly, it can kill just about anything. I would change his 2 though. I would change his 2 and I would change his 3. And maybe his 4. Can you move while casting his Oberon's 1? I don't think you can. If you can, then no problems. But if you can't move while casting it, I'd change that. But for his 2, I really, really despise how the range stat is focused on degrees. And it's just, why? I'd focus more on the paladin aspect of him, and I'd change it to be like an aura. I'd still have grass grow, but I'd have it surround him and go at a specific meters, and probably about like a little bit more, if not the same range as Reckoning, and have it follow Oberon around, because he's basically the God Fairy and a Paladin Warframe. So why not have it to where grass grows wherever he walks, and then you don't have to worry about having to recast it all over the fucking place, and like it'd fit better, it'd make more sense, and it wouldn't be as tedious. I wouldn't change the aspects of, you know, status immunity or applying radiation or anything like that. Just have it follow him in a 360-degree area around him, and it's just like, oh, there's the fairy god king, he's coming, here comes the grass. And I changed the 3 to kind of act in the same regards as well. Make it a drain, but not make it a drain based off of how many units are being affected by it. I'd still have it, you know, work in tandem with the grass to give armor and all that stuff, but I'd have it to where it's an aura that falls around him, has a little bit more range or similar range to the 2, and if allies get into it, you know, they get the health regen and the armor, and then if they step out of it, instead of keeping it and causing Oberon to have more drain on him, they'd walk out of it and they could have it for a set duration until they walk back into it. Kind of like how Bastille works with its armor. And for Reckoning, that's a tough one, honestly. I just hate how you stand for so long and how slow and clunky the animation is. I changed something about that. Everything else about that ability is pretty damn good. I'd also change the augment. The augment is god-awful. That just does not deal damage. I mean, you can make it deal damage. You can set it up to do what it's supposed to do, but it's just... Man, you want to blind people? Play that. Unskip Prime says, I really enjoyed your Hellband vid, mainly because it had a theme instead of being Warframe X with Nourish and Torrid Incarnate breaks the game. Do you have any other theme builds in mind? Also, congrats on 4K. Thank you very much. Maybe somewhere down the line, I'll probably end up doing some more themed videos and all that stuff, but I don't really have anything in mind. Not at the moment. Funny enough, the idea for the Hellband intro came after I made the build, because I made the build and I was like, man, how the fuck can I theme this around? And because I played Helldivers, I was just like, oh my god, wait, it's a Helldiver. You throw out an orbital beacon. It's just like, it's perfect and all that stuff. And then like I got hit with another idea, was just like rebuild the intro in Warframe, and I'm just like, oh god, why am I doing this? It was well worth it. Honestly, it was fun as hell to make. But yeah, probably somewhere down the line in the future. Nothing settled, nothing like truly 100% there, but like, you know, just to throw a couple darts at the wall, Valkyr Shield build or a Samus Aran Hildren, like that kind of sort of theme stuff, like somewhere down the line. Daniela Community, Daniela Community. Oh god, I'm so sorry. Congrats for 4K subs. Will you make a video about Oberon one day? I feel like he isn't appreciated enough. And somebody else asked a similar question, a different aspect as well. Lukaku says, a little late, but I would like to know, do you plan on making a guide for Ivara, Oberon, Atlas, Equinox one day? These Warframes are super underrated. It's really cool you show the world their true potential. And to answer both questions, yes, and multiple yeses. He is on the list. Actually, I might as well show y'all the list that I kind of have of Warframes and what I'm planning on working on and all that stuff. I look at trends, I look at what people say and all that, and a lot of what the community says, and that kind of moves about the list and pushes stuff upwards or forwards and all that stuff. It'll happen one day. I don't have an upload schedule because I kind of just do a bunch of other stuff and such. I mean, a large aspect of this is kind of just a hobby, and it's not necessarily going to be a career, but it's just, I can't thank you all enough for being able to stick around and wanting to see all the stuff that, you know, you can do with a Warframe or want to learn what to do with a Warframe. It's just like, thank you all. But it's like a lot of the Warframes, you know, there's a lot of underrated ones that do need some love. So, and then for Oberon, I feel like Oberon might be getting a rework soon, but I don't know. I'm holding my breath on that. It's difficult to say whether it'd be worthwhile to work on a guide now or wait till the rework happens to do a guide then. It's it's with Caliban it worked out because I could make that initial guide and then 7 months down the line the rework finally came in. But it's unpredictable now with how DE is actually just like touching up and reworking Warframes now. It's just, I'm glad my prediction came out true. Like, let's go. Praise Pablo. Beans Prime asks, why have you started to use Atoms the weapon? And I believe you mean Atomos. Somebody recommended me to try out the Atomos and give it a try and all that stuff, and so I did, and I really kind of just jumped on the train on it. It's more entertaining than a new core, although the new core does do the body inflation thing, and that shit's kind of hilarious whenever you aim at the head. But I did get bored of the new core, and the Atomos, having it in Karn mode, can transform into a different gun, and it just built it to be a dot build that helps keep you alive with secondary fortifier. Like, it's just versatile, handy, good, and it doesn't need a lot of mods to be able to do damage. Like, that's the incredible part. It's just a good weapon. Calibarelli asks, how many hours do you have on Warframe? And too many. Oh boy, let's see. How many do I have? What does Steam say? Here's the in-game hours. This is how much I have in-game playtime. But what does Steam say? Steam says currently 7,049.9 hours, and that's a lot of time. That's not as much as some other people, but I'm definitely up there with games played for sure. And Tyler Stupid asks, love the channel, glad to see you're getting recognition. What's your go-to game mode for brainless gameplay, whether it's farming or just trying to burn time? Also, what game mode do you think Vauban excels at over any other frame? And my go-to brainless game mode is survival. I just love survival. It's one of the things that kind of got me hooked in the game. I really like horde mode style kind of games, like Killing Floor, Gears of War horde mode, Nazi zombies, like just horde mode games just always get a nice aspect for me. And it's like Helldivers kind of fills that same niche as well, so long as you're fighting Terminids, basically a horde mode game. So it's just the nice brainless thing to do. I do wish there was some like different kind of aspects for survival, kind of just like how Deep Archimedia for survival has the modifier where you have to kill necromechs for the air. Like, that's like, yes, more of that please. Just stuff that can like change it up a little bit, just give you a different objective going on in survival. Because like, if that was survival for Whispers in the Walls area, hell yeah, like, come on, that would be so awesome. Primary target to get all your air from, and he's just like a tanky mid boss in the survival. It's great. It's a great aspect that I love. And to answer the second question, Cascade. I'm sorry, no other Warframe competes in Cascade against Vauban. Vauban can hard carry that. You can throw fleshette orbs and bastilles and vortexes all over the place and just claim an entire tile for yourself, and it's just the damage scales with enemy levels, and because enemy levels scale so fast, your damage just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. It's just Cascade. You throw a vortex and then a bastille on top of that vortex and a couple fleshette orbs, and that point's defended. Like, you're done. You can go get another point. He's just that strong in it. Predator X says, this goes so hard. Thank you. Question, are you a professor in real life? If not, what is your day job? I am not a professor. I do not have the degree or certification to be a professor whatsoever. But my day job, I work in a warehouse. It's a nice, cozy kind of environment. Some days are super busy, some days are not busy at all, and so some days I get the free time to be able to do video editing and all that stuff, and it's a good job to have currently, especially since it's a state job, and the current of everything is kind of unpredictable and not good and kind of bad at the same time. So there's a lot of oddities going on about life right now. So I hope all of you are taking care of yourselves and are in good aspects at the moment, especially with how everything's going around. So make sure to take care of yourself. But I'm okay. I have a full-time job. I'm working on myself and don't have to worry too much about stuff. It's great. And then David Rodriguez says, man, congrats on reaching 4K subs. I was there when you posted your first video, and I'm glad I'm still here. I really hope you the best. Thank you very much, man. I hope you get the best too. Thank you for the support and love. I seriously appreciate it. And his question, besides Warframe, what are other games you like? And I'll kind of answer this question in two parts. So what I currently play in my all-time favorites. So currently, Warframe, Helldivers 2, Hunt Showdown whenever I'm kind of in the mood for it, and I also play Honkai Star Rail quite a lot. There's like other games every now and then here and there, just like small indie games to kind of just change the pace of things and all, but I just like multiple game categories. I kind of jump all over the place. It's just whatever I end up kind of just being in the mood for. It's like, hell, even sometimes I just jump back into a Dark Souls game or Elden Ring game because it's just like, why not? But for my all-time favorites, BioShock 1 and 2, those are incredible. Infinite can be its multiverse that it is because it's infinitely disappointing. Not a bad game, but it's just like, man, you guys really don't know how to do multiverse, do you? Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 is like just incredible to me. I had the most fun just like invading and messing around with my friends and all that stuff. And also just playing the game and enjoying the PvP. It's just one of the best Souls in my opinion. I did start off playing Dark Souls 2 though, but like Dark Souls 3 is just it for me. And then Team Fortress 2, that one will always remain classic for me. Titanfall 2 is incredible. If you haven't played it, it still has a bit of a community going, so try it out before it's finally done. Titanfall 1 was good too, but Titanfall 2, Titanfall 2 is peak. Hell, even if you just play the campaign, it's so good. The Metroid Prime series, Metroid Prime 1, 2, and Metroid Prime Corruption. Still waiting for 4, Nintendo. Still waiting for 4. Fallout New Vegas, that one's great. I liked Fallout 3, but Fallout New Vegas kind of took the cake because it has way better DLC. And Bad Company 2. Oh my god, Bad Company 2. I started off playing Bad Company 1, but Bad Company 2 is great. I loved Bad Company 2 so much. And then like Battlefield 3 was okay, Battlefield 4 was alright, and then like it kind of just all went downhill from there. And then the one, the only, the masterpiece of gaming, Halo 3. That thing, we will never get anything like that ever again. And that's the sad part, but we had something like that happen, and that's the good part. And then for the final question, Lukaku again, because this is just a completely different question from the first one he asked. Another question, do you think Vauban deserved a quality of life? If so, what changes do you make, and what would you recommend D make as someone with years of experience in Warframe? It's surprisingly tough to answer, but I'd say more of a yes. Some things that I would personally love for Vauban to give him quality life is make it to where enemies affected by Tesla Nervos can still be picked up by Bastille, have Tesla Nervos not bug out while trying to attach to enemies on Bastille or in Vortex, make it more obvious that an enemy is attached by a Tesla Nervos. They do have like a slight glow, but it's just like if you don't have the right colors on or anything like that, you're not going to see it. Just have the Vortex pool slowly force enemies out of the areas they're stuck on to get closer to the Vortex. Some slight ragdoll manipulation movement or something like that, if they could do that. Bring back Bounce Pad, replace Vector Pad and Tether Coils with different abilities, or just make the Utility Belt Flechette Orb and have like Overdriver active when you are standing within range of your Flechette Orbs or something like that. That way it can just help simplify the ability for everyone, and it's just less button management for everyone as well. And I guess get rid of the enemy cap on Bastille, but it's like it's not that big of an issue since you can effectively just throw out as many Bastilles as you want. Everything else is good. Photon Strike doesn't need anything other than a range buff, maybe. Tesla Nervous is the problem child. The Utility Belt could use some more adjustments for sure, and Vortex could use some ragdoll changes to be less annoying on certain tiles. I don't think Vauban is getting a full kit update anytime soon, or ever. he has gone through multiple changes, and he's been updated a lot. I'll never forget the god-awful passive he had for armor, and it's just being next to teammates gave you more armor, and it was a 20-meter range, and you had to be like standing right next to your teammates for that. In theory, if like you had the right setup, you could have more armor than Valkyr back in the day, but you had to be within 20 meters of all your teammates for that, and like that was kind of impossible unless you were doing a camping strat, but then even then it's kind of worthless and wouldn't do that much. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Q&A, you know? Thank you all so much for sticking around and being patient, for sure. I have, like, no upload schedule, but I'm not going to be releasing something that's half-assed or crap. I hope at least I proved that in some aspect with some of the videos that I have. I'm going to take my time and make sure that you guys aren't getting, you know, a piece of crap, because I guess sort of a perfectionist in that manner. I just want to make sure that I'm releasing something that makes me feel good and won't make me feel like shit and like it's rushed or anything like that. But you know, that's it. Seriously, thank you all for sticking around and hanging out and waiting and being patient, and just have fun with the game. You know, go have fun with 1999. Go enjoy the game and witness the bugs, the glitches, the fixes, the changes, everything. Just watch the game evolve right in front of your eyes. You probably won't be hearing much from me for a bit, because I'm going to be going on vacation and for the entirety of December. But other than that, thank you guys for sticking around. If y'all want to join the Discord and all that, if nobody has joined the Discord, y'all are more than welcome to hang out, chat, be goofy, whatever. And I also do streaming. Whenever I get back, I'll be streaming again, but not going to be streaming anytime soon. So welcome to give me a follow on Twitch and all that. But other than that, you know, to have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, go enjoy your family, go enjoy life, go enjoy Warframe, go enjoy 1999, and by all means, just keep being awesome. Y'all have a good one.